It feels like almost every day in one of the mentoring calls that I'm having with somebody who's getting ready to separate or retire out of the military, they're asking the same question. How do I plan a career after the military rather than just finding a job? What are the steps to planning and plotting for a career that's going to be over many, many years rather than just securing a paycheck? And I love that question because that is how we should all be thinking about the work that we do. If all we're doing is performing a task and getting a paycheck, that can feel very transactional. But if you're mapping out a career and you have a strategy to build towards that, it tends to be much more meaningful in the short term and the long term. So here's how that looks. Let's say you're getting ready to leave the military in a few months and you ultimately know eventually you'd like to, let's say, be a business owner. You want to own a business, but you don't really have any entrepreneur experience. You've got some education, you have some great skills coming out of the military, but you really don't know how to run a business. Well, perhaps one of the first things to do, if ultimately the goal is to own a business one day, is to look at what you can do now and in the next few years to set yourself up for success. That might mean going to work for a company where you can learn how business processes work, or going to work for a startup so you can see how the investment strategies work and how businesses determine valuation and how they shore up employees and secure their first space and start building that market momentum to get going. That could be a really good first step to ultimately get you into business ownership. And then if that's your path and you're going to look at that, and you might even throw in some education or some clubs and organizations to join to continue to really get a robust sense of what it takes to be an entrepreneur. If that's your path, then if you're looking for that first job after the military, your lens and criteria look different. If you don't have a strategy, then you're evaluating opportunities through a different set of criteria. But if ultimately your goal is to learn from other businesses how to start and grow a business, then that first job has a different weight to it, right? You want it to have something where you're going to have a hands-on role. You're going to be involved in a lot of different aspects of the business. You're going to get to see operations and finance and personnel and maybe even work closely with the CEO. That's going to set you up to help you identify what do I need more of so that when I'm ready to launch that business, I have the skill set, I have the tools, and I have now some knowledge, experience, and some connections, and I'm ready to go. So that's just an example of when you can think about what the end goal is, then work your way backwards and say, so if in 5 years I want to be in this job, what do I need to do first? And then what about second? What other education, relationships, community do I need to surround myself with? So I'm ready to go when that date comes. That's my advice for picking a career path. I hope this has been helpful. We've got a lot more information on this topic in my book, Success After Service, and all the different materials that I have online for you. Good luck.